Let's talk about Japan. In this video, I will be sharing with you what you should prepare before going to Japan. Also things to keep in mind because it may shock you because it shocked me. And at the end of the video, I'll be sharing with you some recommendations on some activities that I think exist only in Japan, like how to watch a sumo game, how to have a samurai or ninja training, how to find and meet a geisha, etc. So stick around and let's get into it. So, what should you prepare before going to Japan? First thing, I think you should have comfortable shoes because expect to walk a lot. Especially if you are from cultures where people don't walk a lot, like from the US, you will be averaging 15 to 20,000 steps a day, so you better have comfortable shoes. Second, even though Japan is a technologically advanced culture and it's a developed country, yet there are places that still don't accept cards, only cash. So you should have cash on you all the time. Now there are ATMs in all convenience stores, so it's super easy to find an ATM. Like you go to 7-Eleven or Family Mart or all the other convenience stores, they all have ATMs inside, so it's very convenient. Also, when we talk about money, we also talk about coins. Now, the smallest Japanese yen banknote is 1,000 yen, but a lot of times you will be using coins like to pay for tickets, to buy like a drink in these vending machines that are everywhere. They cost between like 100 and 150. So you will be using coins. Now for men, this may not be a problem because normally we have pockets. But for ladies, you might want to have like a cute purse or wallet. I still have a dozen of these because most of these I couldn't spend. This is like 1 yen. Yeah. Number three, if you are a morning person, Japan wakes up a little bit late. I was surprised, but a lot of businesses start around 10 or 11 a.m. So if you are used to like do your things in the morning, in Japan you may want to check in advance to see if these places do actually open at that time. Also keep in mind that most of hotels and hostels checkout time is 10 a.m. or 9:30. So also keep that in mind. Now for touristy open spots like Arashiyama in Kyoto, you can go anytime and ideally in the early morning. Later on, I will explain to you more tips how to go there and at what time to go, etc. Like to get these perfect pictures in the bamboo trees and all that. Um, but yeah, generally most places, most shops open around 10, 11 a.m. Number four, there are almost no trash cans on the streets of Japan. Now, I made a separate video about this explaining that there are two reasons, tourism and also just Japanese people normally carry their trash with them till they go home because they believe that streets should be aesthetically beautiful and clean. And when you have trash cans in the middle of the street, normally that would lead to a little bit of dirt and smell, etc. So Japanese people don't like that. So for you, what you should do is that either take your trash with you till your hotel or around your hotel, ideally, hopefully you'll find a trash can. Or train stations, a lot of train stations have trash cans. And also look in alleys, like normally on main streets, you will not find trash cans, but sometimes if you check in alleys, sometimes some of them, you will find a trash can or two and you can dispose of your trash there. Five, something to keep in mind as well is that English is not widely spoken in Japan. So learn some basic Japanese phrases. It will be really, really helpful. Expect to get lost at the train station. It's very normal. Like even locals get lost at train stations sometimes, especially in Tokyo, in the big stations, and also the main one of Osaka. If you have an important train, ask, especially if it's like a bullet train, you don't want to miss your train. Go and ask. Just walk up to any staff and say "sumimasen," which means excuse me, and then ask them your question. Ideally, please show them the name of your destination on your phone because you probably will pronounce it very differently and you may make it difficult for them to help you. Show them the name while you're saying it. Now I'll talk about things that shocked me and also things that exceeded my expectations. So if you're not interested in this part, you can skip to the other part of recommendations. I will include the timestamp. So for the things that shocked me about Japan, the first one is open prostitution. I think just like a lot of people, we always assume the Japanese people are very shy, very discreet. But when I was in Osaka, in a region called Nishinari, I left my hotel looking for food, just like 5 minutes walk from my hotel, and I came across this block, all these tiny houses full of prostitutes. Like in each kind of room, there is a young lady with an old lady, and the old lady is trying to like get people for her, and then the young lady just like looking cute and waving and stuff, and tons of men there. So I was taken aback. I was a little bit shocked because I did not expect that. Like that is my biggest culture shock actually from that 2 weeks that I spent in Japan. And by the way, they cost 100 for 20 minutes, so nah, skip that. Another thing that was a little bit shocking to me is, again, related to the stereotypes of how we think of Japanese people. I did not expect some places to be loud. I did not expect places where like people come to you with the menu and they invite you to, to their restaurant or to their bar. I don't know why, I don't know why. I did not expect that. But like when I was in Osaka, I saw a lot of that. And, in the beginning, it was not like shocking, but more like surprising, But yeah, you may come across places where there's a lot of music playing in different spots, and also ads, and so you may be like, wow, maybe you did not expect that in Japan, but it's a thing, and it's like it's beautiful. It's part of the experience, but I don't know why I did not expect that. Another wrong stereotype that I had about the Japanese is that I think a lot of us think that it's an introverted culture and people are not very sociable. But I was actually surprised to see that the culture is very social. Like there are even a lot of events where they are based on group activities, like the karaoke events. Japanese people love to sing karaoke, and like when you go there at night, you will see tons of bars and spots where people sing karaoke. By the way, karaoke is a Japanese word, and no wonder, man, they killed that thing. Not in vocals, but they do it every day almost. Like, but people do that like weekly at least. Like it's a thing. Also, izakayas, when you go to these traditional Japanese restaurants, normally people go in group. At least two people. But normally, like friends will go drink and eat and stuff. Even when I went to the sumo events, I was surprised to see that most seats are for four people. So that for me translated to that people normally go in group. Something that was a little bit surprising is that I didn't see any beggar, any homeless person in Japan. Like I've been to Osaka, to Tokyo, to Nara, to Kyoto, and to Nagoya, and I haven't seen any beggar, any homeless in these regions. I'm not sure about the exact numbers of like homeless people in Japan, but I didn't see nobody. And the last surprising thing is, even though I've heard about this, but like the drinking culture is interesting. Like especially when you are in Tokyo, Shibuya, they call it the Shibuya meltdown. One night, like I stayed walking around there, like around 2 3 a.m. Japan looked very different. Like at that time, Tokyo looked different. It looked dirty. People like laying on the ground, drunk. Also, people like vibing more. I recommend this experience. Definitely gotta meet and vibe with some Japanese. Go party with some Japanese at night. Tokyo, super super cool, dope experience. Okay, now for things that exceeded my expectations. So the first is politeness. Now we all know that Japanese people are very polite, very considerate, but the level of consideration and politeness is just like from a different dimension. Like sometimes they are so polite, you feel a little bit embarrassed. Like I had this experience a few times. At train stations, also they have information counters. Now the thing is that I went to ask, and I had this experience. Like the two ladies saw me coming, so they became very attentive, and they stood up and they bowed, and it was a deep bow, and I I felt confused and embarrassed. It was just like too polite for me as an outsider. I'm just some tourist. So I even had to look around to make sure that it's for me. Like maybe it's somebody else. But yeah, it was just like that. And also when you ask, it's not like they say go straight. The attitude, man, it's so beautiful. that they will pull out a map. They will show you, okay, we are here. You go this way. You go this way. You go this way. And then you will find it. And they'll be like, you can take the map. You can take the map. It's good. Thank you. Thank you. Man, I love Japan. I swear, like, especially that I'm coming from a culture where we lack that type of politeness and like just the customer service. I think that customer service in Japan is one of the best, if not the best. Man, also something about consideration, and also this is something to keep in mind, is that when you get on the train, don't put your bag next to you, but put it on your lap or in front of you, because you will see all Japanese people. This is what they do. And this is also part of that consideration, that I take my own spot. So it's just my own spot. So my bag, I put it on my lap or in front of me. So I keep that space free for you to take it. This is the consideration. We need to normalize some of these beautiful Japanese customs. Another thing also that surpassed my expectation is their swag. They are super, super cool. Like, especially like in big cities and in Tokyo especially, but also in Osaka, the way people dress, the colors, the way they dye their hair, the hairstyles, super cool. You will enjoy these visuals. So that definitely exceeded my expectations and I loved it. Another thing that I did not expect, and it's just like maybe trivial, but at the same time is super interesting. I didn't see Japanese people on their phone all the time, like especially when they're walking, they are attentive, like they pay attention. When they're waiting for the light to turn green, for example, they are on their phone. But when they're walking, they're not on their phone. I don't know, like even the new generations, I don't know. It's just so interesting that maybe it would be super embarrassing if people bump into each other and people try to avoid that. I don't know really the reason, but people are not on their phones all the time, especially when they're walking. And the last thing before we move to recommendations is trains. Oh my God, trains in Japan are just different. The trains are so colorful and like super, super cute and beautiful. And even the quality, like it's like a sofa. It's like you're at home, like you're chilling at home. I'm just so mind blown by how Japanese people respect public property, because that wouldn't work in most places on this planet, because people are not that considerate. People destroy things, but to see trains with this sofa like seats, it was phenomenal. Also, they are always on time. Not only the bullet train, which is like phenomenally on time, but also the other like normal trains that you will take on a daily, they are normally on time. Like you use your Google Maps, you will see that it will come at 3:47, 3:47, boom, the train is in front of you. Now moving on to top recommendations. First recommendation, how to watch a sumo game in Japan. So every year there are 6 tournaments happen in different cities, sometimes in Tokyo, in Osaka, in Nagoya, etc. I will include the name of the website. Go check the website and check when you are going. And if you will be there during the tournament, I highly recommend book a spot, go watch a sumo game. It's a unique thing. It's a very, very Japanese experience. And for booking it, you will book it on the website. You can pay online and everything. So it's not complicated. All you gotta do is check if the tournament is happening while you're there. Second thing is that how to meet a geisha. So geishas normally are, most of them, located and situated in Kyoto, especially in Gion streets. But there are 2 things. If you want just to see a geisha walking around or a maiko, you can see them in the street. Just go there, chill maybe at a cafe, or and then within an hour or something, you will definitely see 1 or 2. But if you want to meet one, actually, you may need to book a tea ceremony. It's a very interesting event. You get to learn a lot about Japanese culture and this very intricate part of the Japanese culture. as well as to learn about geishas and to get interact with them and probably even get a chance to play with a Michael. There are sometimes some fun and easy games you can play with them. So yeah, give it a try. Kyoto, Gion. Another unique Japanese experience is samurai or ninja. So in Kyoto, there is a museum. I will include the name here, where you can go and have like a training kind of, for like an hour or two of how to, how to hold the sword properly, how to use the sword, how to swing, etc. Also, you get to learn how to throw the star thingy, the shuriken, they call it, I guess, in Japanese. And other things. And also, you learn about the history of samurais and ninjas. I think it's also quite a unique experience. Give it a try if you have time. Another amazing and unique experience is to go to Nara Park in Nara. It's just like about 40 minutes from Osaka or from Kyoto, and you can spend just half a day if you don't have much time, and you will get to interact with this deer. First of all, you can feed the deer, you can pet the deer, and these deer are so unique that they bow like Japanese people. Like it's absolutely one of the most unique and beautiful experiences. Super, super fun. I highly recommend it. Nara Park, it's for free. You only have to buy the crackers if you want. It's optional, like to feed the deer, because if you don't have the food, they may not come to you, so you may not have the chance to interact with them and pet them. But if you have food, they will come to you like in numbers. So it's just 200 yen. You buy the cracker and you feed them. They bow to you. You can pet them, take pictures, videos, whatever you want. You will absolutely love it. Another experience that I think it will also be very nice is staying at a capsule hotel. Capsule hotels cost between 3 to 4,000 yen. I stayed at one called 9 Hours. They are all located next to train stations or airports. I guess there is even one at the airport. I think you should give it a try. A capsule hotel, if you never stayed at one, give it a try. Another recommended thing to do in Japan, absolutely, you got to take the fastest train on the planet, the Shinkansen, the bullet train. Depends on the budget. You can take one from like Osaka to Kyoto. That should be the cheapest one, like from Kyoto to Osaka, Osaka to Kyoto. It takes about 10-15 minutes. Or you can take one from Osaka to Tokyo or vice versa. It takes about 2 hours and it costs between $100. It's phenomenal, the speed of that beast. But at the same time, you feel so comfortable. You don't feel that speed. For me, that was a really, really, really beautiful experience. Give it a try. And finally, I advise you to go to an arcade, especially when you are in Tokyo. I think it's one of those experiences. You go to an arcade, play some games. I think it's super, super fun. Like regardless of if you're a gamer or no, you will definitely find a game or two that you like. They cost only like 100 yen per round per game. That's like 70 cents. You can play like 3 to 5 rounds for like, I don't know, $3 or something. For such experience is super cheap. Like it's nothing. It's nothing. So definitely go to an arcade. Another interesting experience in Japan is animal cafes. Now there are some very interesting animal cafes in Japan that I'm not sure that they exist in other countries yet. Like they have owl cafes where you can interact and pet owls. They have like hedgehog cafes, capybara cafes, Shiba Inu cafes. Like this is a Japanese dog. I think that's very Japanese and very unique. And more other types of cafes. So I definitely recommend to give it a try. At least go to one of these. And if you love more animals, you may want to see more. Well, I guess that's it. I mean, I still can recommend tons of other things, but I don't want to make this video really long. Let me know in the comments if you want part two. I can recommend like more specifically, like which spot to go to when you are in Tokyo and Osaka, etc. So I hope this video was beneficial, was helpful. If you like it, please follow for more, and I'll see you in another video. Thank you.